Hi. Hopefully that you guys can see this. The lighting is at the lighting is terrible. Oh, I just saw an orb. I just saw a winged, and it's not a bug. Well, hello, spirits. There are spirits in Scandinavia. I've heard that there are many fairies in Scandinavia. Hmm. Well, then, perhaps they've come to visit. I think I just saw a fairy fly by. Which is very cool. I don't get to see that very often. I don't get to see those kinds of anomalies. It's not a bug, no. Uh, let me close my It's a little crazy over here. If you wanted nice visuals, you're not going to get them today. I apologize, but it's just a really dark room. As you can see, I've maximized the light to the best of my ability. If we glitch and you lose me, I'm sorry. This is hotel reception. Oh, you saw that? Yeah, it was a winged thing. I saw it when it went by and it was white and flapping. And I'm like, what the heck? When you see an angel or an orb, they're translucent. You can look through them and they will have a slight silver blue look. But I don't know what the camera catches, but it went by and it wasn't a bug. And I think the camera caught it. But what it looked like to me, you could see through it almost like veins, like a butterfly it looked like, and it had like a silver white, well, with a slight blue tint. And sometimes they're translucent. The one that came behind me a couple years ago also flapped like an angel. I call it my Tinker Bell, and it was completely translucent. I mean, I can see them. I've only seen them, like this was the best one I saw, was the one that just flew by. If you guys wanna start at the opening and slow, but there's one of those butterfly angel fairy things flew by within the oh, was there another one that just went by? Wow, they fly so fast, it's hard to catch them on camera. I think it's in the room. I'm not afraid of them. If it decides to come back, that's cool with me. It is a little freaky though. I'll be honest, because 'cause I'm here by myself. I'm like, "What the hell are these orbs flying by me?" Okay, is there more than one? Okay, I'm cool. You ain't gonna hurt me. Well, we're just gonna have oh, aggravated progressive, hi. We're just gonna have to pray, to our good angels. I think that they are biological, and people ask me as a scientist because I've seen them, "What are they?" I think it's a biological life form. I mean, it's not fake, and it's not dust, and it's not a bug. People have asked, is it a type of alien? This is, this assumption that aliens are gonna be 4 feet or 5 feet or 6 feet, but there could be aliens that are nano, minute. There's no reason for us to believe that we haven't been invaded by con sentient beings that are far smaller than us, right? Size doesn't matter. So there have been some theories that they're entities that are coming in between, which makes sense to me. Um, I just saw it again. They go so fast, to be honest with you guys, that they have to kinda slow down, like, when it crossed over within the first 3 seconds, for whatever reason, it had slowed down. It had kinda, like, stopped, and that gave ample time for the camera to capture it. When it flew by me, it looked like a translucent silver blue. This is a very sacred area I'm in right now, and I'm actually next to the major hospital in Stockholm. So I'm sure a lot of people are praying. It's across the street. They're praying for the loved ones. There's a lot of angels, healing energy at hospitals, I find, having worked in them. A lot of people praying. Um, and then I'm also surrounded by natural elements here as well. So um, what we had in this room, because we have they have a garden and wilderness in the back of the hotel. I'm tended to believe it came in from that it's a type of life form, or what, some people call them fairies. I think they're real. I don't think we scientifically know what they are. The Talmud and the Torah talks about it. They are possibly life forms that help sustain nature. They are the energy that helps maintain the flow of the life of that, and encourage the growth of nature. This is why when you cut down nature, you lose nature spirits. The function of the nature spirit is to have a symbiotic relationship with the plants and help sustain them. It says in the there's a saying in Judaism that for every leaf of grass that grows, there's an angel that says, grow, grow. And so this force that's allowing it is the angelic or the fairy realm. So yeah, it was very cool if you got to see it. If you didn't, you can just go back and see the opening. Yeah, wings. It had wings. L'chaim, l'chaim. Different than the one back home. So that kind of also makes me think, like, are there different fairies or different biologicals? These types of biologicals, could they be different in different parts of the world? Just like Thai, you have in Thailand, you have African elephants, you have Indian, you have Thai, and when they put them together in the zoo, they can't communicate because they speak different languages, because they're living in different parts of the world. It's like parlez-vous français. They don't understand each other, and that was really amazing for zoologists to learn, is just how complex the language is. So you think about the spiritual realm. If you have elementals that have been in Ireland for a really, really long time, would their energy be different than, say, the elementals that are up here in the north in Scandinavia? Or the Native American elementals. Native Americans say that the little people, or that they've come in contact with, are very different than the ones from Europe. But when the Irish and the people from Britain came, or wherever they came from, some of the elementals had become attached to the children. Children will play with them, they'll develop emotional relationships with them, and they will often follow them home, and evidently, according to legend, followed them onto the boats, and then found homes in the Midwest, and then developed relationships with the elementals that were there from Native Americans. And then when the Native Americans were asked about it, they said, "Oh, we see you brought your elementals, like we see you brought your little people." It gets into a very complicated story, because you also have clans in Scotland, clans in England, clans in Wales, clans in Ireland that are ancient, the Macduffs and the, God, I'm trying to think of these old names. Joyce, old Irish name Joyce, right? So there is also this idea that elementals are attached to certain families, which makes sense, because if you had a clan that was living on a particular land and their kids grew up and took care of the land and played with the elementals, and over generation upon generation upon generation. And so they became the totems of the clan and the protectors of that clan. So what happens when the clan moves away? Well, there's this symbiotic relationship now between the elementals and that particular tribe, which is how a Native American, like a Dakota Sioux spiritual man, might explain it based on the books I've read. So a symbiotic relationship happened between the people that lived on the land in the old countries, some of them clans for thousands of years. The elementals came to be family members. And so when they would bring in the harvest, when they, we're coming to celebrate your harvest, um, and then got on the boat with them. Oh, we're now going to build a new settlement in Boston, right? So that was the story of how the elementals from Europe came to the Americas. Isn't that a great story? I love that. Yeah, there's some great books if you're interested on Native American folk stories, legends. Of course, these are folk stories. You don't have to believe in them. They can just be ways of thinking about community and spirit. We also think about what's called environmental anthropology, how the environment changes us as people, and we change the environment. So there are all kinds of wonderful ways that we can think about these stories. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do the empath's prayer. And if you have any concerns, I'm feeling very good about the election. I want to go on record saying again, I am a professionally trained remote viewer. I am a professional profiler. I do it for a living. It's my job to go in and I use ancient techniques like Tantra and Bon. In the modern world, in the scientific world, it's known as heart-centered remote viewing. It's a secular technique based on those old traditions. And the purpose of HCRV is to become one with whoever you're attempting to get information with. You think about Tantra, people think about sex. People think about Tantra, oh, you're having sex. Because the closest we can become to another human being is when we have sex or when we give birth. Birth is even more, right? You're one with that person, right? And then you become two, right? Two becomes one, and then one becomes two. Both of these are intense ways to become one with another person. When you do HCRV, in my real world, I have a lot of ego. It's necessary. It keeps me safe. I often get attacked for having a lot of ego, but I grew up in a very tough world. I lived in the Middle East for many years. Being grabbed and assaulted is not uncommon in certain parts of the Middle East. If you're walking around by yourself as an American in certain parts of, you better be careful. And you're a woman. You don't go after dark. You don't go by yourself. You're escorted by a male, usually in some, you don't go by yourself in certain areas. So you learn to have an ego or you're going to be dead. You learn to be tough. You learn these things. And we often think that the personality that we create in order to survive in a violent world, we judge it, we criticize it, rather than respecting the personalities that we've created as necessary to move through this matrix. Sometimes we have to let things go, or we have to adjust. Like I'm very abrasive because I spent 6 years in Israel, and before that, 15 years of incarceration. So I can fight, right? I can fight. But 90-something% of the people that you deal with in life don't want to fight you. And so you have to kind of adjust, right? In HCRV, you're in a state of universal love and compassion, and people think that I should be like that 24 hours a day. Well, I'm not. I'm not a saint. I'm not a guru. I'm a regular person just like you. I've got people get disappointed. They thought they came here to find a guru. And I have to remind them that I'm smart, I'm educated, and I'm a really damn good profiler, and I'm really good at my job. But I'm not a guru. But we do teach people how to be able to do this. So on that note, I can tell you that I have been Donald Trump. I have been one with Donald Trump. Now, people ask me, what's that like? Well, what do you want to know? What do you want to know? I can tell you what it is to be Donald Trump because I have been him. And I can't do this. I mean, I'm not prepared to debate Kamala Harris. I don't, they threw me a curveball, man. I mean, I can talk about her laugh, but I mean, I don't, the truth is, I don't really got a lot of material, folks. You know? Now it's just, this was my first insight that I gave you guys. I think it was what, week and a half ago. No, it was almost 2 weeks ago. I thought I was gonna walk. Could they pay me to leave? I mean, it depends on how much they give me, man. I'm owing $500 million, and I'm facing prison sentence. I could be, incarcerated in September. My inclination is, I know I can't win, so I'm probably gonna walk. They could pay me to leave, which would be disastrous, but I really don't know, honestly, how this is gonna pan out, because as Donald Trump, I can tell you, I don't wanna be here. I'm not even gonna debate her. Hell no, man, I'm not ready for this. I can't do my Sleepy Joe jokes. Um, that is interesting insight for me as a profiler to give to the audience, because it tells me that this person's confidence has been deeply shaken. You see where I'm coming from? So, yeah. You know, something is gonna have to dramatically change for Trump to get his confidence back, and I think the silly jokes and the babbling is because he has nothing, and when you are an actor and you're bombing on the stage, I know this personally, that you get into situations where you're doing, if you've done improv where you just, or you've tried to do anything and it's just not working, you start throwing anything that sticks at the audience, because you're just floundering, and I think that what we're seeing on stage is an actor floundering. Yeah. All right. Let's do the empath prayer. I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and our good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, the planet, the people we love, but also to help those that we may have strife with, like Elon Musk. And together we say, Amen. Sorry, I had to do it. Okay, so I thought the first thing, because of what had happened in the remotes, I thought it might be nice if we take a look at Donald Trump right now and see where his mental state is. I mean, I just felt like, did you ever see Katy Perry when she was lip syncing on SNL and she didn't know what to do, so she just started dancing an Irish jig because she was standing out there looking like an idiot? That's what you've got going on right now. He's just dancing an Irish jig because he's got no material, and trying to kill out the clock and then get off the stage. It's extremely embarrassing for him. It's like Katy Perry bombing on SNL. Okay, let's take a look. Yeah, think about the jig she did. That's what you're looking at. It's the same energy. It's the same feeling. You see it? Now do you see it? Welcome to my world. Where Trump is right now. The star of the show right now is the Justice Department. Trump is no longer the star. This is the first message from Spirit. The star of the show is not Donald Trump. The star of the show is the Justice Department. It's he's not the star anymore. He's the convict. You understand? He's been found guilty on multiple charges. He's been found guilty in a civil suit of raping a woman in Bergdorf. So he's not the star anymore. You know, now they're showing pictures, the old pictures of him making his daughter give him a lap dance. How bad does it have to get? How bad does it have to get? The star of the did it again. Where is it? You see it? It's just light. It's just a light. It's not a bug. I told you. The star, it's the Justice Department. King of Wands. Who's the King of Wands? It's Robert Mueller's card. It's Jack Smith's card. It's the King who seeks justice absolute. It's the Lion of Judah who goes to war to seek justice. Oh, I was born a hostage. My mother was kidnapped out of San Francisco. She went on a date with a guy and he was crazy. He was out of San Quentin. He had been charged with murder. He had committed murder and he was able to get the sentence reduced. And on a mistake, he was re-released and he took my mother. And he kept her for about 14 years. And she had 7 kids with her captor. I'm the 6th. She escaped. We got into foster care. And then he convinced the judge to get custody again, because that was the culture back then. Women were property and you had the right. When you kidnapped and raped a woman, it was called common law marriage. Being forced to marry the man that rapes you when you're 12. This is still going on today. It wasn't called a kidnapping, it was called common law marriage. And he complained to the courts that his victim had run off, and so he had the right to the children. So he held us an additional several years, and so I spent 15 years under incarceration. But it was a weird world because we had we were on welfare and he was using the money to buy drugs, so there was no money for food. And they made sure we were going to school, but you're not going to tell people the conditions you're in, but you're in a hostage crisis situation with a psychopath who has guns, who's torturing the kids, raping the kids, holding them hostage, playing Russian roulette. And you've got to go to school and act normal, similar to other children's hostage stories. And people saw me hungry, like people in the AMA, Black social workers, activists. These were the people that made sure stuffed the cornbread in the kid's mouth. I was always hungry. That was why, I'm doing a cleanse right now. And have you guys ever seen me incarcerated? You guys want to see what I look like when I was a hostage? I can't believe I'm telling you guys this. You can see advanced starvation in the child. This is starvation in a kid. You can see my arms. I look like I'm a concentration camp victim because I am. There was no food. Got it out of garbage cans. To become a remote viewer, to do this kind of work is an honor and a privilege. You can't have a sense of self. This is the early training of being a remote viewer. You must go to hell. You must be in hell. You must know hell. I was in hell for 15 years. That was my early training. How to get out of my body, how to escape, how to psychically read the perpetrator took this photograph. You can see my face watching him. Is he going to punch me? Is he going to put a bullet to my head? What's he doing with the camera? That's my early training, insight into the predator. Watching, observing, seeing him before he sees me. My clothes don't fit because they're 2 years old. That's why my legs are bare. The dress is coming up because it's a dress for a 3-year-old, but I'm 5. But I was starved, so I could still fit into it. You want to be a remote viewer? You got to learn, you got to go through some tough training. Yeah. But I have a great life now, right? I get my second doctoral degree, right? So many of you are not here by accident. God works in mysterious ways. Many of you had similar stories. I've spoken with many of you. And you are remote viewers. You are professional empaths because you have come to me with your stories, which are often more horrible than mine, by the way. We learn empathy through suffering, and we can do great things by knowing our own. We learn our own strength through our survival. We have come this far by faith. Remember our song, what we sing when we think about Kamala Harris? You know, oh, it can't be, she's Black. Oh, she's female. Oh, we can't have a VP because he's gay. Have you not forgotten our song? We have come this far by faith, honey. If you have the faith, all things are possible. You know, we come this far by faith. We come this far leaning on the Lord. Blessed is his holy word. Never fail me yet. Oh, oh, turn around, he come this far by faith. Blessed is his holy word. Oh, 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 he come this far by faith. Blessed is his holy word. Someone said, "Ooh, you sing like a Black girl." Because I was taken to the church as my friend. They fed me. Okay, so base of the matter is the star is not Donald Trump anymore. Do you understand that, people? The star of the show is we're rocking with the Justice Department. Boom, boom, boom. Justice is coming. We're talking about justice reform, right? We're talking about Harris coming in and this justice reform. So the star is now over justice. That's very interesting to me because it means that the energy is shifting away from Trump towards something that is much healthier for the country. Look at this, the Constitution. Remember, when you look at a political reading, This is the ethos, the higher ethos. Its negative aspects can be dogma, but in a political reading, we think about the strength of the Constitution when we're talking about the American system. So we're talking about looking to the higher judges, looking to our higher ethos. And the crossing card is we must examine the ethos of the nation. If you're talking about it in perspective of Donald Trump, I just feel like his world is over. I mean, I can't imagine how this could end. Excuse me. If the ferry comes by again, let me know, you guys. I've seen it twice so far. He's a $500 billion. He's facing sentencing in September. This examination, pulling back, and also it's poverty, or not poverty, it's pulling back on your finances. It's frugality. It's frugality. It's also self-examination. What is above him? Death. His situation is about to change very soon. How do you guys feel about that? I don't think he can come back from this. I think he's simply taken too many hits. And I think they misinterpreted his assassination, the assassination attempt of Trump. I don't think it was because Jesus saved him. I think it happened because the Republican Party is in civil unrest. Excuse me. Something's causing a reaction. I hope I don't have my cat crap around here. So they told the story. And what they should have been doing is looking at the fact that Republicans are trying to kill Republicans, that rather than the fact that, thank God, he turned his head, because I don't want Trump to be shot. I mean, we want him to not be the president and to be placed in some kind of psychiatric facility if necessary. But we don't want, this is not who we are as people, which would have been horrible, horrific, and traumatic for everyone. It was traumatic enough what happened. No, we want justice to reign in this country. And we want solid justice. And we want a Supreme Court that works for everyone, and term limits. And we need the courts to be reformed. And we need the Constitution to be working towards a more perfect union. And when you have this kind of division of the nation, that obstructs the natural flow of trying to create a country that's unified. Confidence. His confidence has been shaken. Look at this. He's tied up in tax problems, legal problems. Look at this. This is his past. Death is where he's headed. Look at this. Can you guys see this? Sorry, I'm not able to do this. I'll hold it like that. Can you guys see this? Look at this. This guy's ruined. You see it? See what I was trying to tell you guys? Death. Look at his action. Look at the results of him being tied up. Action, reaction. 5th house, 6th house. Your past results in your what? My being tied up resulted in me having stress. The stress is taking him out. Look at the death. Look at what it's taking out, his confidence. Look at death, confidence wiped out. Look at this guy. Can you see it? Look at the frugality. Look at where the star falls. The star falls on justice. This guy's screwed. Unless another reader has a different interpretation, but I can't imagine what it would be, to be quite frank with you. It's happening very quickly. The opposition is giddy with joy. Look at the Democrats. Hopes and fears that it's over. Look at these damn cards. The knight that goes nowhere. The final outcome for him, he's going to be given a Hail Mary. I think he's going to be asked to leave. Smoother waters lay ahead for him and his family. His family almost gets an exit. Look at this. Look at this violent, angry attack from his enemies. We are like going after him, and he is just trying to get away. Hopes and fears. Oh my God, a new beginning. Look at them. I don't think, you know what? It's almost like Republican strategists know they've lost. There's no, look at this. He lost all of his, this is a confidence card. No way. Mm-mm. He lost his confidence. It's because of this and no money. Look at that. He can't pay it. Well, if there are lawyers here who can correct me, I believe they will start to confiscate his properties if he cannot pay it. Yeah. Crazy, crazy, crazy. He walked out. He's on the verge of walking out. That is what I can tell you. I have been him, and I can tell you, as Donald Trump, I can't do this. What am I got no material. Just calm down, Mr. President. They're like trying to calm him down. I got nothing, man. I feel we can get you new material, but I feel like I already lost. I feel like there's no point to go to the debate, which is why I'm skipping it. She's going to debate on. It's what I told you. Like I got no confidence, man. They threw me a curveball. I can't go out there, man. What am I gonna do? I got no material. They threw me a curveball. I got nothing, man. I got no material. That's how I feel as Trump. How will he? He's going to have to work with somebody. They're going to have to get some material. Yeah. Now, one of the questions that I have skipped, and I think I've skipped it just because I felt like there was too much going on here in the United States. And so I just didn't want to tackle it. But as many of you know, he's also facing interesting investigations in other parts of the world, including his Scotland property. I guess there have been some problems, and people want to know. It's evidently not making any money. These places are money pits. Also, as a remote viewer, I went in and I looked at the finances. I mean, he has to spend millions just to keep them open, you guys. They're all underwater. All his golf courses, all this stuff is underwater. It's like he keeps it open to make people think he's doing great, but they're all Mar-a-Lago is underwater. Doral, is that what it's called, is underwater. The New Jersey place is going down. And now I don't see much activity in Scotland. I mean, except for Americans that are Americans come in. But the truth of the matter is, it ain't going. I mean, of all the remotes I've done, I would say they're all doing bad, and in this order. Number one would be Scotland is doing the worst. I mean, shut it down, man. Talk about an empty. No one's there. They stand around, wait. No, it's bad. Okay. And then after that would be the Doral. Is that what that's the second to the worst. And then comes Mar-a-Lago, and then comes the New Jersey. Was it Bedminster? Is that what they call it? That's how it looks to me as a remote viewer. Yeah, so I'm assuming that they will take out. I think the property is finished. I'll do 4 cards so it's easier for you guys to see. I'll just do a regular blitz. This was a question that was asked a few times that you guys asked about the Scotland property, and I didn't want to get into it because people were just too focused on the U.S., but I'll look at it now for you. Future of the Trump property out of Scotland. There's a new beginning. It's under new management. Our Spirit already told me. He's selling it to a group, and the group is going to salvage and change it. It's being sold. There you go. Spirit just gave it to me. What's the name of the property? Trump property out of Scotland is being sold. It's being sold to a real estate company that's owned by the group is buying it. You can see possibly by March, April, excuse me. We have this new owner coming in. They were investigating what the potential is for the property, and they'll probably do a bid on it within a month. You guys want to talk about it? No problem. To the person who had asked, I know you'd been waiting a couple months. You guys want to talk about it? Yeah, it's being sold, which I'm glad he's doing that. Like if I were his friend, I would say, buddy, you got to start. If you got $500 million, you got to pay. You got to start selling these properties and start getting yourself some cash. A new beginning comes to the Scotland property, new ownership, and you can see that they're looking at the finances, how much they can make, and then we're seeing a nice hefty Ace of Wands, which is a good sign. Yeah, we think we can do something with the property. It's well situated. They're schmoozing. Clean record, a much cleaner record with this group than him. And yeah, it was an intellectual decision. He may not have managed the property in Scotland well, but based on this remote, a professional team, real estate team could come in and they feel that they could do very well at this property. Well, I can tell you that they're schmoozing, and that there's a judgment was determined by this man. Excuse me. There it is again, new beginning, and then expertise, and then here's the mastery and expertise again. It'll be probably an offer to purchase within 30 days. It's pretty straightforward. That's not a hard reading for me. I read wands as months. I don't know, there's a lot of readers here. How do you use time with wands? Do you go wand as a season or do you go wand as a month? I'm just going to throw it out to the readers. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, what's her name? I'm sorry, Linda. Linda G goes by months, but you may go by seasons. Each reader is different because of dendrochronology. The only you can only get time 100%. If you're going to be trying to get time, you have to go with the only confidence I would recommend is with wands. Wands are our time. Wands. God, why can't I speak today? Oh, it's because I got my things in my mouth. Wands are the timekeepers in the tarot. It's the wood element, and wood grows. Pentacles don't grow, swords don't grow. Water goes with the flow, so there's no time. It comes in its own time. Water goes to its own flow. But a tree grows. It's alive, it grows, and when you slice it, you can see seasons and time. And so that is why readers use the wands to determine time. Yeah, months. I do month also. Some people do a whole season, but that's never worked for me because I just feel like coins were weeks. Coins are weak, and I think that has to do with just wages. That the reason why people use coins is in ancient times, coins were used to interpret weeks. And which is why I think you're confused about the coins or the pentacles. And that's probably has to do with a workman's wages for the week. He got his coin. So some readers did use the coin to determine a week's wages. So if you had a 2 of pentacles, that would be a 2-week period. But it's also back and forth, so it could indicate within 2 weeks something wicked this way comes, or charlatan or gambling. But yeah, most do wands as months. All right, let's get some more questions in. You guys have any more questions for me? Yeah, I think he's going to have to come up with some way. I'm trying to get comfortable. He's going to have to come up with some way to pay all that off. And it looks like, thank God he found somebody that's going to be buying that property. Crazy, crazy times we live in, don't you think? Did the angel come back? I didn't, or the fairy, whatever it is. Let me see it. Ooh. I'm trying to change position here. Oh, I usually sit like this comfortably. Why don't I just do that? Oh, there you go. I'll just do that. Hello, hello, darlings. Is that all right? Or can you see my bathroom? I'm trying not to get you guys to see the bathroom. That's all right. I need the light. I know it's not very pretty to look at. I could put up something fake, but I mean, I could put myself in. Do you guys want a background or it doesn't? Yeah, okay, you don't care. Oh, this is something that I had suggested, that I thought the Republicans would be smart and that they would put in Nikki Haley, that they would disqualify Trump, but never underestimate the level of stupid that is. She tried to tell people, you're going to go down with this guy. I can win. And she's right. She could have. She could have come in with sane conservative. She could have toned down the crazy anti-abortion stuff, like um, Hannibal Lecter. I don't know. It's like a dinner joke. I mean, like he's just a comedian and an actor writing lines who's paid by the GOP to entertain and rile up the audience, and he's not doing very well. He's stumbling. Poor boy. I feel bad for him. Okay, let's take a look at Nikki Haley. Oh my God. And be sure to share, like, subscribe, think about memberships, think about donations are welcome. It helps me pay my taxes and to pay my beautiful assistant. If you need to get in for a reading with me, check the information below. I'll be back on the 3rd if you need to schedule an appointment. What am I doing? Oh yeah, I'm Nikki Haley. She tried to help. She tried to warn people. The Knight of Cups, bringing up, I'm trying to save the party, right? Six of Pentacles. Yeah, I mean, she really thought that within 1 month. He can't go on, folks. He's already defending himself in July. Look at this. She tried to help. Knight of Cups woos you. Listen to me. I can pull this off. Get rid of him. Put me in. Put me in as the lead. I'm the one with the second to we got to fix this. It's not within the GOP policy to do this, but he has to step down. Yes, but that puts in JD Vance. Great, then put me in under him. I can do this, right? So she's got this, should we, there's this thing happening between her. Make me the VP pick. Make me. It makes sense because I have the second to the most delegates. Look at this, 30 days. The Ace of Wands again coming, your 1 month card, and then begins to defend himself in July, the 7th month. Dang, folks. Yeah, so he's falling apart right now. And I don't, gosh, let me do a clarification on that. That's kind of harsh. You guys, it's bad. It's so bad. If they do not take on Nikki Haley, they will be slaughtered. Now, I don't know if that means getting rid of JD Vance or getting rid of Trump, making JDV the presidential pick and bringing in, I don't know, but she is saying, and she is right, that if they don't get her in there, this is going to go badly. You can see the star is over her and she offers to help. Look at them. Look what they're trapped by. Their obligations. Trump is the obligation that has basically ruined them. Look at their hopes and fears. Within 30 days, they're losing their independence. Lovers, people begin, well, I don't know. You people sound a little crazy to me, and I'm an independent. I think I'm going to go over and listen to Harris and Buttigieg. I'm going to join that dude's group, 30,000 people, and they raised what, $250,000? So there's this kind of lovers within 30 days from the hope and fear, which is, you know, torn between two lovers. You don't want that kind of energy in your campaign when you're in the middle of a presidential. Lovers is also cheating. It's adultery on its dark aspects. It's going to the other side. They're so screwed. I'm sorry. Final outcome, magician. I can save this. She is right, by the way. Nikki Haley is the only one that makes sense, in the sense that if they had listened to her, she would have made it a legitimate party, and she would have been good for the party. And at this point, if they stay, no personal reading, sorry, okay. If they stay with, yeah, it's bad. All right, so JD Vance has come up a lot. People are making jokes about him making love to a couch. I think that turned out to be false, by the way. As much as I would love it to be true, it was determined to be false by Snopes or whatever. Probably a joke about kids getting drunk and passing out on couches and stuff like that. And so he probably got drunk and passed out on a couch, and people made jokes about it. And then from that it became he was having sex with the couch. But no, he never had sex with the couch. He probably got drunk and passed out on a couch. And that's how the joke got started. He was hugging the couch, right? You ever been so drunk you think you're going to fall off the couch? I haven't, but I've heard about it. And so you're hugging the couch and you try not to throw up. I don't drink. I never had the whole him and Kavanaugh, right? That going off to college, getting drunk, passing out. Regular poor people don't necessarily act like that when we get to college because we don't have extra money for that kind of crap, you know? All right, JD Vance. A new beginning is coming for JD Vance. He's worried about the health of Trump. He feels that he can be the next president. He thinks, no, I can be the next president. New beginning within the next 4 months for him. He's worried about the health of the opposition or the health of Trump, the hopes and the fear, a new beginning, and he sees himself as emerging as powerful with the magician. The clarification over JD Vance. He wants Trump to drop out. In some ways, he's actually happy that Trump's being taken out. He wants to go and schmooze with Nikki Haley. He has no loyalty. He's an opportunist. Look at this. He gets his wish. Look at this, Justice Department and health over Trump. And then over the issues of confusion, look at him. He's wooing people, 6 of Cups. He's a sycophant. Oh, well, he's gone. Who wants to play with me? I got the power now. Yeah, so he's not a very loyal guy. Is Trump going to jail? I mean, he's ruined. I mean, like, he's having to sell his properties. I know that. Let's take a look. Okay, is Trump going to jail? He's in a lot of trouble. Within 2 weeks, there's going to be a decision by a judge that will not be in his favor. You can see the 2-week card, 2 of Pentacles, tossy. His opposition is victorious. His hopes and fears that he'll be able to get some kind of a deal, and he's facing the judge. He's facing the judge again within 2 weeks. He's going before the judge. He fears incarceration. I can show it to you. He's trying to get out of Dodge. He keeps getting that 6 of Swords, trying to get to smoother waters. His opposition is victorious and confident. I think there's real momentum with Harris. Look at this. Fears incarceration, 9 of Wands. And there's the police. It's also his card. The King of Swords is on top of the judge. So I don't know if he's going to be incarcerated, but he's certainly fearing incarceration. And he's certainly, with those cards, he has to go before the judge within 2 weeks. I can tell you that, but just based on what I saw. Is that going to be Chutkin, or is it going to be the person in DC that he's coming up to in 2 weeks? You know, it's interesting. When we did the remote on Buttigieg and Chase, or Chaz, is that the name of his husband? Oh God, I gotta stretch my legs. We got into their breakfast and they had a conversation. What if I'm asked? And his husband had said, well, then we will move again. Children, we can move children, right? Basically gave him permission to accept the VP role. And I was confused because I said, well, I thought he lived in DC. And I was like, I didn't understand the remote. Why is his husband saying that? Doesn't he work in DC? Isn't that how it works? And then I found out that they actually live in Michigan. Is that where they live? So they don't live. So that was why what I heard at the breakfast table, that they were discussing the fact that he would have to move to DC. And his husband was saying, children are mobile, basically. We can pack them up and move them. He has 2 kids. Yeah. Well, you know, that's the joke, Wendy Burt, is that, you know, like Maduro, it's going to be permanent, and you're going to have this permanent hellish person there who's a Putin puppet making life hell, which is going to create unbelievable crisis at the border. Okay, so the Heritage Foundation has kind of shown their ugly selves. And that's good because they're kind of a shadow organization, aren't they? In the sense that we really didn't know a lot about them, but now we know that they are a right-wing Catholic group that has installed a lot of justices in the Supreme Court with an intent of taking over the United States. So, for that reason, and they have always tried to be in the shadows and not have people find out who they are. So then the next question becomes, is this even legal? Is this type of lobbying legal? Oh, I put my violin up there. So let's take a look at the future of the Heritage Foundation. Feel free to like, subscribe, become a member. Much appreciated. The Heritage Foundation. This will be my last, I think probably my last one, because my legs are cramping. Ooh. Oh. There is a new beginning in the heritage organization of exposure where more and more people are going to be exposing, and there's going to be more documentaries, and there's going to be more exposés by former members. I'm seeing an expose. We can see here the Queen of Cups dreams. So they're dreamers, right? Ginny Thomas is a member, right? This Thomas, these are evangelical Catholic, right? Charismatic Catholic. Amy Coney Barrett is a member, right? Evangelical Charismatic Catholics. Roberts is a member. Gorsuch, right? So we have a security issue in the sense that you have this kind of like takeover by this evangelical Catholic cult of the United States Supreme Court with an intent of making America an evangelical Catholic country. So they dream, they are the dreamers. But the problem with the Queen of Cups, if you're talking about the dark aspect of the Queen of Cups, the dreamer, the artist, is that she can go insane. The opposition is the Ace of Wands. Within 30 days, there's going to be some major upset that's instigated by the opposition. Again, we see rough winds in August. That's my August card. And we can see it's 30 days, which would take us into August, a new beginning. And so they're being exposed. So there's a new beginning in the Heritage Foundation of exposure and transparency. There's going to be a series of interviews, anonymous tips, etc. We could be seeing stuff going on 60 Minutes, etc., that starts to expose this organization. And we could see the end of the Heritage Organization as a result. I'll go into, because look at this, Five of Swords, we took the weapons away. They're going to be shut down. Just certain violations. They were operating base. It's this all kind of treason when you think about it. And you can see people came across the aisle to the opposition and start talking. You know, I love these kinds of exposés where the person's in the shadow and they change their voice. And it's like, I was asked by the Heritage Foundation and my job was to, they're going to start doing that. They're going to start having these types of things on 60 Minutes, and people, the whole entire world is going to see these exposés on them. Look at this. They're trying to get from the flood by August. They're trying to get we got to get out of here. We got to get out of here. Look at the final outcome. By spring of next year, we're looking at them possibly being shut down. This is my spring card. This is Aries, the wand. It's typified by Archangel Uriel, who is the path maker. He opens the way. If you're trying to get a new job or something, you might go to Uriel. And it's over, the night that goes nowhere. They're shutting them down. Wow, that was cool. Okay. You live and you learn. All right, you guys, you've been fun. Thank you for joining me in beautiful Stockholm. Like I said, I'll be back August 3rd. If you need to have a consultation with me as a physician, or if you just need a tarot reading, please reach out to me. All the information is below. Okay, folks, be kind to all so that all will be kind to you too, unless they happen to be a terrorist, in which case you get to kill them before they kill you. But we hope for most people, for the nice people, for the good people of the world. We have to, and none of us is perfect. Gosh knows I can be cranky. But we aspire to be kind to all and to spread it to the world. All right. Thank you, everyone. Love and light. Have a great night, and we'll see you next time. Be well. Peace out.